In this video, I'll be explaining the different thermodynamic systems. So this is an introductory video to thermochemistry. Before we get into the more complicated stuff, we have to understand what a system is, what surroundings represent, open system, closed system, and isolated systems. So let's first start with system versus surrounding. First, let's define each. So a system is the part of the universe or of the universe or whatever that is under study. So it's what is under study. That gives you the system. Now the surroundings or surrounding represent what the stuff that interact with our system. So interact with the system. And of course they are outside of the system. So outside. So keywords interact versus study. So a good way to think about it is you have to choose something as your system. You're gonna choose a broad, like many things as your system. Let's say you're cooking. Cooking is a very good example. Your system, let's say you're cooking a piece of steak. Your system is the steak, and your surroundings will be where you cook it. So they're outside the system, but they're interacting with it because they're helping it cook it. So cooking is always a good example to think about when you're trying to compare a system versus a surrounding. Now let's talk about the three different kind of systems. So there will be an open system. It could also be a closed system. And finally, it could be an isolated system. Well, these are three types of systems. Now let's talk about each of them. Let's start with an open system. An open system will freely exchange energy and matter. So freely exchange energy and matter. So let's say you have a cup of hot tea or something like that. So you have a cup right here and it's open. So like this. Yeah, that's not the best drawing of a cup, but you can understand the point. So we have a cup of a hot liquid, and it's open. So what will happen is when you feel it, there will be energy coming out of here, and out of here, right? Because wherever you touch it, it's hot. So it's hot here, 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 here. So you can see that the energy is already changed. But what makes it different is that when it's open, it will also exchange matter from here. So let me write energy here, energy, and matter here. And how it exchanges matter is in the state of steam, so vapor. So you will kind of see a gas coming out when you have a very hot liquid, and that is because it is exchanging matter. So matter and energy, that's what makes up an open system. Now let's go to a closed system. Closed system. A closed system can only exchange energy. So only change energy. So there will be no matter exchange. So let's say we have the same cup. You could say it's a little better. But now this time we put something on top. So there's no steam coming out of it. So you can only see that only the energy will come out. And that's because we're covering it. So the we will keep the same amount of liquid we had. The steam cannot go out, so it will stay there, and just the energy will be what is exchanged with our surroundings. One more thing. So in this case, you can see that the cup is our system, right? And then our surroundings would be everything else. So the energy is liberated to the surroundings, from the system to the surroundings. And we'll talk about exothermic and endothermic processes in the following video, but for now all you need to know is the difference between an open, a closed, and an isolated system. So we said for the closed one, it only exchanges energy. Now let's talk about the last type of system, isolated systems. And an isolated system doesn't exchange anything. So doesn't exchange anything. So there will be no energy nor matter release or exchange. So no matter nor energy exchange with the surroundings. And well, that is what you usually see when you have a thermos. So instead of having your cup, you have a thermos that is closed, and when you touch it, this isn't warm. So there's no energy coming out of it. So the steam doesn't come out of it because it's closed, and the energy doesn't come out of it because it's isolated. So when you don't feel something hot, like if you have a hot liquid inside something and it doesn't heat when you touch it, it means that there's no energy exchange. And that is, well, what represents an isolated system. So energy, no matter. And I think a good way to picture all of this is, I found this picture. So there we go. We have our open system here. You can see it's not covered, so there will be matter coming out from here. Should let me some matter coming out of here, and energy coming out of here and here. Then our closed one will have, it's covered, so no matter will come out, just energy. And then our isolated one, you can see that it's also covered right here, and it's isolated because of this foam or whatever material that is preventing the energy from coming out. So it's preventing it. So you can call it as an isolated system, no matter nor energy exchange. And well, that's the difference between the three types of systems.